excited to kick things off. Oh, I'm so glad to see so many people jumping in here. Share your screen. There you go. We want to see all these amazing faces. Here's what I want. We want to be very interactive today. So I want you to drop here in the chat where you're coming from. I'm here outside of Austin, Texas. Bill's also from outside of Austin, Texas. The last I checked, we live together. So there you go. Anyone else, post where you're coming from today.
Let's
Here
see,
in the chat.
Campbell, let's see, Kentucky, New Hampshire, Tennessee, Ontario, Tennessee, Maryland, Florida, Maryland. Wow,
That
wow.
is
A lot
so
of
great.
Tennessee.
Great. Keep them coming. If you're just now coming, join us. Welcome. Share your screen. We like to see people. We want to be engaged and we want to be very active today. So tell us where you're coming from. It's also great so that we know where everybody is. All right. All right. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. We're so excited that you're here. Today, we're going to flip the script kind of on everything that you've been told about starting a bookkeeping business. Because here's the truth. You don't really have to just start from scratch. You can actually acquire a thriving business even without little or no money out of pocket. And I know you're probably saying that sounds too good to be true, but hang tight. We're going to show you here in the next 60 minutes or so exactly how that's going to work.
And you know, Dee, by the end of this session, our goal is that you're going to walk away with the strategy most people have never even considered, but that could completely change your path to financial freedom. We're going to make this feel simple, doable, and real. And it really is. So let's dive in. Let's change how you think about building a bookkeeping business.
Awesome. Okay, well, as you know, my name is Deanna Rogers. I am one of the partners here at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. I met Tiffany over a year ago, and I was just so thrilled. I knew that I wanted to be a partner with her. I knew that I wanted to be a part here. I actually have 7 businesses. My husband and I have done several businesses over the year. He likes to say that I'm a serial entrepreneur. I just like to say that I like to just hoard things. I like to own things, and I like to just keep adding things to my arsenal. But I'm also a mom. I'm a mom of 3 adult boys. Very excited. They're 32, 30, and 27 years old. And the proud Mimi of 5 grandchildren, 4 grandsons, and 1 granddaughter. And they are actually my reason why I do what we do every day is that, you know, Bill and I, we try so hard to create generational wealth and to build a legacy for our children and our grandchildren. And that is my strive. That is what drives me every single day. And it's why we keep acquiring more businesses, is so that we can build our portfolio and give generational wealth to our family.
All right. And as my better half said, my name is Bill Rogers, and as she said, we're partners with Tiffany, and I'm the CEO here at the Stay at Home Bookkeeper Academy. I've spent over 2 decades in the corporate world, really leading teams, managing big operations, and learning how businesses actually go. Last year, I took the leap. I made a shift. I walked away from that business, and I wanted to focus on building businesses that give me freedom, impact, and ownership. And now, as Deanna said, we own 7 businesses, and soon, hopefully, to be 8 businesses within the next couple of weeks. You know, what really lights me up is helping other people just like you create businesses that are simple, sustainable, and profitable without the chaos of guesswork. And whether you're just starting out or you're ready to scale to the next level, we're going to focus on today showing you how you don't have to do it alone and you don't have to do it the hard way. So Deanna, let's hop in.
All right, are you ready? Okay, so we're here today, and why we're here is because we're about to show you that it's just not another path. It's the smarter, faster, more leveraged way to build a business. It's how to kind of skip the line, I guess, right? Skip the guessing and go straight into ownership, even if you feel like you're starting at 0. So if you've ever thought, this is taking too long, or I wish I could just start with a client list, or maybe I don't know if I can really do this. Have you ever thought of that? Well, stick with us. I can promise you, you're in the right place. By the end of this hour, we're going to have shared so much with you to actually show you what to do and how to do it and how we can help you.
I love that. But let's be real for a moment. Most bookkeepers start from scratch. They tend to struggle. They're second guessing themselves every single step of the way. I wonder if this sounds familiar to anybody on the Zoom tonight. One way is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is real. You feel like you need more credentials, you need more time, more confidence, and all the while you're stuck in learning mode and you're not in earning mode. It becomes a cycle of trial and error, trying to figure out marketing, sales, onboarding, and everything from the ground up. It can feel like you're yelling into a void. You're doing it all the right things, but the growth is not happening fast enough. And here's the truth. Starting from scratch is noble. We teach it every single day here at the Academy. We teach every single day how students can build a profitable bookkeeping business from the ground up. But the truth is, it does take time. We want to show you how to skip all of that and to start with momentum today, because you don't have to do it the hard way. There's another option, and it's not just faster, it's smarter.
All right, so let's break this down side by side. Right here, if you can see the slide here, on the left, we've got what most people do is starting from scratch. No revenue, no systems, no clients, and it takes a little time to get that real traction. Now, if you look over to the right-hand side, that's acquiring a business, immediate cash flow, proven processes, a book of business already in place. And instead of trying to get clients, you inherit them. Instead of building systems, you step right into them. So here's the key idea. You're not just buying a business, you're buying time. You're collapsing the timeline between starting and succeeding. And honestly, once you kind of see it that way, it's hard to unsee it. And so what we want is we want you to start thinking like an owner from the very, very beginning, not hustling for scraps, but stepping into something that's already established and making it better.
Now, this is where this is where people tend to struggle. They tend to say, wait, how can I build a business if I don't have tens of thousands of dollars just lying around? That's a great question. And the answer is one of the most exciting parts of this model. You don't need to be sitting on a pile of cash. You don't need to understand, where to get the money at. You just need to understand what's called creative deal structuring. That's what we're going to talk about. It's a win-win for you and the seller. It actually helps you get the business and it benefits the seller at the same time. So you can bring so much value to the table without writing a big check. Your work ethic, your systems, your ability to step in, to care for clients. That's the leverage that you already have. And the best part is you don't need to take out a loan. You don't need to put your house on the line or use some of your personal savings. What we're going to do is we're going to walk you through tonight. We're going to walk you through how to structure these deals that work with you, even if you're starting from zero. It's not about having money. It's about having the right strategy. And this is what we're going to show you tonight.
All right, so let's bust a few myths that might be floating around in your head right now. Because if you're thinking things like, I'm not a CPA or I don't have the cash, you're not alone. You don't need fancy credentials to do this. You don't need $100,000 in the bank, and you absolutely do not need to quit your job tomorrow. Like what you need right now is the right roadmap and the willingness to take action.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
before we move on to the next thing, Dan, I know several people are starting to put questions in the chat.
Yes.
Put your questions in the chat. We've saved plenty of time at the end to answer all of your questions. So we want you to load up the chat with questions, and we're going to take plenty of time at the end to answer them. We did have a few people that sent in some questions ahead of time that we've got ready, but please put those questions in the chat. Now let's dive into different ways that you can creatively finance a business without needing a big chunk of cash. As I said earlier, we call this Creative Financing 101. You're going to understand these tools. You're going to start looking at deals that are a lot more doable. First is, we call it seller financing. This is where the owner lets you pay over time. It's just like a car loan, but for businesses. It gives them monthly income and it gives you the flexibility without needing a bank loan. Keep in mind, someone who's looking to retire isn't really looking for a huge tax bill on selling their business and collecting a whole bunch of money up front. What they're really looking for is a 401k. They're looking for a way to secure their financial freedom in their retirement. Another way is it's called an earnout. This means that part of the purchase price is paid based on the business's future performance. You're not only overpaying, you're only paying if the business continues to deliver and continues to at the same trajectory it's on or growth. This makes the feelers feel confident. This makes the seller feel confident, and it keeps you protected. Now, here's another powerful way. It's called consulting for equity.
I'm just going to chime in here. This is my favorite, Bill. I love this one.
This is our favorite. This is really our favorite. It is. This is where you step in as a strategic partner. You're using your real world experience, whether it's from your current bookkeeping business or from your past career, and you help a business grow in exchange for equity. This enables you to build out a portfolio without the risk. Maybe you're great with systems. You're a natural leader. Maybe you're amazing with clients, or you know how to clean up chaos. Those are all called superpowers. They are incredibly valuable to the right business owner. Consulting for equity really lets you turn that expertise into ownership, even if you don't have a pile of cash sitting in the bank. Another one is called, keep in mind, Deanna and I are going to share with you, there are over 200 ways that you can acquire a business for little or no money out of pocket. But another one is called revenue-based leverage. You use the existing and projected revenue of the business to structure the deal. For example, getting paid from a credit card processor on the monthly recurring revenue from those clients. That way the business actually pays for itself as you grow. Once you understand how to mix and match these tools, you're never going to look at business ownership the same way.
Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what kind of bookkeeping business should I even be looking for? And that's a great question, because not all businesses are the right fit. You might want something that aligns with your goals, your lifestyle, and your strengths. So let's break it down. First, look at the client profile. What kind of clients does the business serve? Are they small business owners, a certain niche like construction or creatives? Then I want you to consider the team structure. Is it a solo bookkeeper, or do they already have a small team in place? You're also going to want to understand their tech stack. Do you know what that is? That is the software that they're using, whether they're using QuickBooks, Xero, spreadsheets. Do they offer payroll, invoicing, advisory? And then don't forget about location. In the business, is that business local to you, or is it fully remote? So you need to know those things. The beauty of this and the beauty of bookkeeping is it can be done anywhere. And we're going to help you build your acquisition criteria so that you're not only pursuing businesses that are a great fit for where you want to be, but also where you want to go. I guess it's kind of like house hunting, but for cash flow.
All right. So now you know what kind of business you want. Now the big question becomes, where do you actually find a business? Where do you actually find someone who's looking to sell their bookkeeping business? Most people honestly don't realize how many opportunities are out there just waiting to be discovered. Now, you've got your typical online platforms like Biz Buy Sell, Empire Flippers, or even Craigslist in some cases. Deanna and I are actually getting ready to acquire a business for no money out of pocket off of a Craigslist ad. We're getting ready to do that, and it was a Craigslist ad, and we've turned it into a new business we're getting ready to acquire for no money out of pocket. But that's just really the tip of the iceberg. The best deals out there are the deals that aren't publicly traded. They're ones that come from relationships, off-market research, even local networking, connecting with CPAs, chatting with tax pros, or virtual assistants. These folks know people who might be ready to sell. They know people that are looking to retire, or people that are frustrated with putting in the hours or whatever it is. They know them. Bookkeeping businesses don't always hit the public marketplace. They get passed around quietly and behind the scenes. What we're going to teach you is exactly how to go out and find these businesses. What kind of outreach, even if you're brand new and you don't have the connections yet, the opportunities are everywhere once you start to look for them the right way.
Awesome. And I see some of your questions. I promise we are going to answer them here momentarily. Okay, so you found a few businesses that you're interested in. Now comes the part that scares a lot of people. It's actually reaching out, right? And your first thought is, well, who am I to contact a business owner and about their company? You've got this. I want you to take a deep breath, right? You don't need a fancy pitch or decades of experience. What you need is literally a simple, authentic message that focuses on them, not you. I mean, when Bill and I first did our first one, it was at the, well, our first conversation starting this whole process, I was actually at one of those food truck parks. And we were talking to the owners of the food truck. It's just, it's got to be in your voice. It's got to be comfortable for you. You don't need to have some fancy pitch, right? It just needs to be you. The nice thing about this is that Bill and I have just been doing this for so many years that we're going to share with you a little bit about how you can work more with us. And we're going to give you the exact emails and DM templates that we've used to get conversations started, whether that's just talking, whether that's in LinkedIn outreach or wherever that may be. We're going to kind of share all that with you. The big point is it's really about credibility. And we're going to show you how to build that, even if you're just now starting out. Because when you speak clearly, professionally, and you lead with value, people are going to take you seriously, right? Remember, business owners are humans too. And many are, they're already thinking about, an exit or needing support. They just haven't really voiced it out yet. So this is what you're doing. You're kind of pulling it out of them to have them realize, wow, I can actually exit my business. So your outreach might be the nudge that you're literally that they've been waiting for and they just don't know it. So you're actually helping them in the right way.
I love that. Now,
Yeah,
let's talk about how you take a conversation and actually turn it into a deal. This is where it gets fun because you're not only negotiating a transaction, you're actually crafting a win-win solution for you and the seller. First, you're going to need to align with the seller's goal. It's, as Deanna said earlier, it's not always about price. Some sellers care more about their clients being taken care of. Others want to phase out slowly. Some are just tired and they want freedom. Once you understand their goals, you can actually structure payment terms that make sense for you and for the seller. Maybe it's payments over time. Maybe it's tied to performance. Maybe it's a combination of both. You've got flexibility, and that's your advantage. You can also leverage what the business already has, like recurring revenue, existing contracts, a solid team. These things all create value, and you don't need to start from scratch. And we're both telling you, and we're living proof that this isn't theory. It's hands-on. It's real-world deal making.
I love that, Bill. All right, so let's talk about now you've closed the deal. Now what? You actually own a bookkeeping business, and what's going to happen next? This is actually where most people get nervous, and honestly, this is actually where the fun begins. I think this is my favorite part of the whole part of the process, right? First, you're going to need a smooth transition plan. That means connecting with the seller, learning how things run, and gradually stepping into your role as the new owner. We're going to help you map that out. So don't worry, step by step. But you want to make sure that you're jumping in slowly and you're not just like a bull in I always tell Bill, don't run in there like a bull in a china shop, right? Like you want to make sure that you're doing it to where you're showing that you're coming in with a new transition plan, but you're not running them over. Does that make sense? All right. And actually, I want to kind of get a little active. If that makes sense, I want you to put yes in the chat box, right? All right. Then it comes client retention. Here's the truth. If you show up, if you communicate clearly, and if you deliver quality work, most clients are not going to go anywhere. They're looking for continuity, and that's exactly what you're going to give them. So that's the next step. Then you're going to implement all the systems. Better yet, you're probably going to just plug in to the proven processes that we're going to share with you here in the Academy, and you don't have to reinvent anything at all. Then Then you're going to take it and you're going to scale, and you're going to scale confidently. And with this, and we're going to support you all along the way. So don't worry about that. So let's kind of walk back through what I said. You're going to do the smooth transition. You're going to retain the clients. You're going to implement the systems, and you're going to scale confidently. That's where the momentum builds. And because now you're starting over, you're not starting over, sorry, because you're not starting over, you're building on top of something that is real and something that is solid.
I love that. Now, this is where, Deanna, it really gets exciting, and where you
Yeah, it
and I have
does.
made this transition with our businesses. Once you've done that first acquisition, the next one gets a whole lot easier. I love, love, love the questions. I promise you, we are going to answer every single question, even if Deanna and I are here till midnight. I promise. Keep those questions coming. Okay, so now it gets a whole lot easier. You've got the reps in. You know how to structure the deal. You know what you're looking for, and more importantly, what to avoid. That's when you start to think bigger. What if? What if instead of just owning one bookkeeping business, you acquired another one, or a support company that really complements your services, like a payroll firm, a VA agency, a CPA? This is how people go from just a few clients really to building an agency. Acquisitions are not about one deal. They're about a model for exponential growth. Deanna and I started with one, and now we're moving to 8. The first one teaches you the process. After that, you're in a position to stack acquisitions and create something way bigger than I promise you could have ever imagined. And the great thing is Deanna and I are going to be here with you every step of the way through your entire journey.
Bill, before you go on, I just something that you
Yeah.
mentioned just a little while ago is, you talked about, hiring the support, the different services that complement you. We call that aqua hire. And I'd like for y'all to really understand what that is. That's you're acquiring the things that you may already need, but rather than paying for those services, you're acquiring those. Does that make sense? I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that when he said that.
Yeah, and we're going to dig into that here in just a second, a few more slides. So I tell you, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a numbers person, or I've never run a business before. That's okay. I guarantee you that's totally okay. You don't need a degree. You don't need a certification. You don't even need to feel 100% confident right now. I've seen people who drove trucks for a living, who worked in healthcare space, who, or who were even stay-at-home parents, go out and acquire businesses with little or no money out of pocket. In Deanna, in her world, where she's going to talk about the little end of the world that she's come in, she's seen people come from, backgrounds all over the spectrum. You just need to be willing to show up. You need to be willing to ask questions. And this is the most important thing of it all. You need to be willing to take action. Here at the Academy, we've had students who were stay-at-home moms, teachers, corporate dropouts, even people who have never heard of QuickBooks before, and now they're business owners with real revenue and real freedom. Our goal is to teach you how to accelerate that and accelerate that quicker. If you're coachable, you're hungry to learn, and you're ready to stop playing it small, this absolutely will work for you. There is no experience required.
All right, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is what we call aqua hire. So we've been talking about acquiring bookkeeping businesses, but there's something most people overlook. It's what if you could acquire the business just to gain access to the people? Like that's what we recommend. That's what we say is aqua hire, because you're acquiring the hires, the people that you want. You're not just buying clients, you're buying the capabilities. So like let's say, for example, a media agency. You need a media agency to do ads and marketing. Well, instead of just paying for that, you're going to acquire a marketing agency. Instead of hiring VAs, you're going to acquire the VA firms, right? Does that kind of make sense? I want to make sure you put in the chat yes. All right. All right. So if you acquired a small CPA firm, now you've got a built-in referral partner, or better yet, a tax arm for your business. Imagine just doing that, acquiring that part of it. Or maybe you acquire, like I said, that marketing company that already knows how to generate leads for service-based businesses. That means you get to stop guessing. at your marketing and you start using a system that already is working and you're no longer now paying for that. That's the best part, right? We've also seen students that have taken these VA agencies, payroll companies, even fractional CFOs, all which are going to expand your capacity overnight. So instead of like building your dream team, like maybe one hire at a time and hiring and hiring and hiring, you just buy the team. That's how you're going to start thinking like a CEO and not like a technician. And it's one of the smartest ways that you can build your bookkeeping empire.
And Deanna and I have actually done this with other businesses that we
Mhm.
built out that portfolio that complements another business. That's what's so great about that in acqui-hires.
All right, so let's do this. Take this one step further. What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Think about that for a second. Let me just restate that. What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Well, that's what happens when you start building an ecosystem. So think of you're not just offering bookkeeping, you're offering payroll, tax advisory, even strategic planning. Now you're not just valuable, you're basically irreplaceable. And this is how you're going to create high margin recurring revenue because when a client trusts you with one thing, they're way more likely to trust you with everything. Does that make sense? Think about that. Everything. And the more pain points that you advise, or the more pain points that you solve and advise for them, the more value you grow up. And the less that you have to chase new business because they're going to bring you more business. They're going to keep giving you additional business and giving you referrals. You own that entire full journey. And that's how you build real lasting wealth.
I love that, Deanna. That makes perfect sense and really resonates. And you know, now let's really talk about us helping to make this a reality, just like we've had with our businesses. Maybe you're just getting started. You've been through some training. Maybe you've even taken a course or two, but getting those first few clients feels like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. Or maybe you already have a business. You've got a few clients. You're doing okay, but you're thinking there's got to be a way to grow faster without burning out. What if you could actually bypass all of that noise and just step into a business that already has momentum? Whether you're starting from scratch or you're looking to scale what you've already built, you want the fast lane. And that's what acquisitions is. And that's what acquisitions it gives you clients, systems, cash flow, all waiting for you on day one. So if you're sitting there thinking, yes, this is exactly what I've been needing, you're not alone. Say yes in the chat. If this is what you're thinking about, this is what you're thinking about getting you to the next level, type yes in the chat. I love it. I love it.
There you go. There you go. You're not alone. I love that.
And this is Dan and I's passion, to be honest, and what we both talked about at the beginning. We're not, yes, we're in it to build generational wealth. Yes, we're in it to build businesses for our family and our children and our grandchildren. But really, what motivates us is to create a community of other business owners to help other people build and grow their business. And trust me, you're going to love where we're about to go.
All right, so let's take a second to talk about this mastermind. We've kind of been sharing a little bit throughout the last couple of minutes of what we're offering, and what we are going to do here is we're going to create a mastermind just for you, for those of you that want to go on this acquisition journey with us. So we created this, and to be honest, we see so many people just like you that get stuck in the slow lane. And I mean, Bill and I were there ourselves years ago, but we had to surround ourselves with people that could help take us to the next level. So, we need to be around people who have the drive, the work ethic, the heart, and that they're not just spinning their wheels trying to figure out how to do it from scratch. And that's what we want to do here for you. And we thought, well, there's got to be a better way. So why not just buy a business that already has clients, already has revenue, already has systems, and that's when everything kind of shifted. We started helping our students help think differently, not just about marketing or pricing, but about ownership. And that's the reason why we decided, let's create a mastermind where we can help you go from the slow start to now flipping that script and then now changing lives. All right. So let's talk a bit about what you're going to get inside this mastermind. It's not just a course. That's if any of you know Bill and myself, it is like we are very passionate about what we do in the groups. And it's not just going to be a group or any other mastermind like anyone else that you've ever heard of. This is going to literally be a hands-on guided experience where we're going to walk you through from the idea to the acquisition in literally 16 weeks. So 4 months, 16 weeks. We're going to give you weekly coaching calls with both of us, with Bill and I, where we're going to walk you through real deals, answer your questions, and help you make confident moves. You're also going to get like real, like live deal reviews. So when you go find a deal, you can bring it to us and we will walk you through that deal review and find how you do the deal stack. How do you get that deal funded? What are the next steps? So you're never guessing along the way. We're going to help you, show you if that deal is a good deal or not and how to take those next steps. And we're going to give you access to over 100 templates, some email scripts that we have, some contracts, some checklists, some outreach tools, everything that actually Bill and I use ourselves. We're going to give you that entire library. You do not have to create anything from scratch at all. We're going to give you what we use in our day-to-day lives already as we're doing our acquisitions. And then finally, you're going to have access to our We Are Here. It's called our private support channel in Slack. And so that way you can hit Bill, myself, and Emily up any time that you need help. So if something happens in real time, you can literally reach out to us immediately. It'll pop up. You can ask us questions and get the help, and we can help keep you moving. You're never, ever going to be alone in this process. And that's what makes all the difference in the world here.
I love that. And I really want to walk you through what 16 weeks could really look like for you. Actually, when you're inside this group, this cohort, this mastermind, keep in mind, as we said, this isn't theory. This is the exact timeline we're going to guide you through step by step. This is the exact timeline Deanna and I have used for the deals that we've acquired. We're actually, the deal that we're getting ready to close, we're matching this timeline. So first, we're going to focus on week 1 and 2. Week 1 and 2, you're going to get clear on what your acquisition strategy is. This is what's key. We're going to help you define your criteria. We're going to help you define what kind of businesses make sense for you and where you're at with your journey. And you're going to get focused from day 1. This is all about starting with intention, not guesswork. Then we're going to move on to week 3 to 6. Week 3 to 6, you're going to begin your outreach. You're going to use proven scripts, messaging templates, positioning strategies to start the conversation with potential sellers. Even if you're brand new at this, we've got you covered. We've created these scripts based off of everything that we've done in the past to acquire these businesses and to grow to build them. Because then next we're going to move into week 7 through 12. Now, week 7 to 12, and this is to answer some of your questions, we're going to help you find these opportunities, whether they're from online marketplaces, referrals, off-market outreach. You'll know how to evaluate them, how to filter out the junk. And this is important. How to filter out the junk so that you can focus on the ones that matter, the ones that match your acquisition criteria that you started from the scratch. Then finally, we're going to move into weeks 13 through 16. And this is all about deal making. We're going to walk you through how to negotiate terms, how to structure the deal, how to get under LOI. LOI is letter of intent. It's letter of intent to buy the business. Once you're on your LOI, consider it equate to putting in a contract for a house. You've told them you're going to want to buy this house. We are even going to introduce you to some third-party finance partners that can help you potentially fund parts of your deal using some of those strategies that we talked about before. Our goal is that by week 16, you're no longer really dreaming about that ownership, but you're really preparing to live it. That's what our goal is. So here's where it's at. Let's talk about the investment because it's more than just a program. This is a business building experience really designated to give you the tools, coaching, and strategy to make your first acquisition possible. The 16-week mastermind really kicks off the second week of April. It's designed for action takers. You're going to be part of a small focus group. Now, Deanna and I, our goal is to really keep this down to a small group of people that have both access to Deanna and myself every single step of the way. You can enroll with a one-time investment of $7,500 or a monthly option of $2,000 a month over the duration of the program. Now, we also have a finance partner. We have a finance partner called FlexBuy. FlexBuy will enable you to fund your investment up to 5 years. So that allows you to able to get in and get going and build that business and then pay that back over time. So definitely, we've got an option. We've got multiple different options to help you get going. And trust me, no fluff, no filler, just the roadmap and the resources you're going to need to really confidently pursue your acquisition. Here's our goal. Our goal is simple, to actually for you to live the journey that Deanna and I have lived over the past several years. Our goal is by the end of this program, you'll have everything you need to find, evaluate, and move towards acquiring that first bookkeeping business, whether that means having conversations, making offers, or getting close to an LOI. Our goal is that you're fully equipped to do this.
Awesome. All right. So if you're still with us, then you know that this is kind of resonating. And we also want to be upfront. This is not just a program with hundreds of people in it. We are going to actually keep this mastermind very small on purpose because we're going to work with a very small group. Bill and I really want to take this first cohort and really work side by side with each and every one of you. So this will be a very small group, a very small mastermind, and we're doing that on purpose. Because when you're going through this business acquisition, you don't need a cookie cutter answer. Like, we don't want you feeling like that ever. You need personal, strategic guidance, and that's what we're going to give. And so we know that with our time and our bandwidth, we want to just have a small group that we can work with, that we know that if you were to call, text, or Slack us, we can give you the time and the attention that you need. So yes, when we say that spots are limited, that is not a sales tactic at all. It's literally because Bill and I don't have the bandwidth to do hundreds and hundreds of people. We're really going to keep this a very small group because we want to see you succeed. It's very, very important to us that anything that we do well. So if we're going to do this and work with a small cohort, we want to make sure that we have that time to work with you. So the window to enroll is short because we want everyone in the group to start together. We want to kind of basically have everyone on that same track. So if you're even thinking about joining and you're just like, okay, this was kind of cool, I really like what they were saying tonight, then here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that next step. I want you to book a call with our team. And the sooner that we can talk and help you decide this is the right fit, then that's better, because timing matters. I mean, this might be your time. And if it is, we want to make sure that we can get you in this group while we have this first group. So again, Bill, where can they get the link to call?
So first I wanted to hop in and because we want to give you something valuable, even if you're just exploring this idea, everyone who books a call with us will get access to a couple free bonuses. First, you're going to get 2 downloads. One is the top 10 questions to ask when considering buying a bookkeeping business. And we've taken and we've built these questions based off of our experience in working and mentoring with Bookkeeping Academy students on a daily basis, plus all of our experiences in acquiring businesses. The second one that we're going to provide you is 5 hidden places to find bookkeeping businesses for sale. These are short, tactical guides designed to really help you spot opportunities, ask smart questions, and to build confidence, even if you don't have a dime to invest. So you don't wait. You'll book the call, grab the bonus, and take the steps forwards. We believe in you, and we're really here to help walk you through this journey. Now, here's a link to book a call. So if you're looking to book a call with us, please scan this QR code. Now, as Deanna said, We have a limited amount of spots for this because we want to keep it to where we can provide this small group coaching to people so that they can go in and start taking actions right away. So once again, we're excited. Now, Deanna, let's dive into some of the questions that we've had.
We do. So I printed out a couple of the ones that came in earlier. So here we're going to start with some of those, and then we'll ask some of the ones that are here in the chat. So I know, Emily, you're going to be also helping us here as well. This one was one that got emailed in. This is from Tammy Blinn. Says, my biggest need to know is, one, key steps to identifying that the selling company's clients are a good value, not a 500 per month client that they spend 10 plus hours on. Two, how to address attrition rate due to the change in ownership on the contract, and maybe a holdback or escrow for a set time frame. Do we want to do these one at a time, Bill? What's best?
Yeah. So do one of them at a time. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's do this. Key steps to identify that the selling company's clients are good value, not just a $500 a month client that they spend 10 hours on. So that just really finding out, does that company have really good clients is I think what she's asking.
No, I love that. So great question. So this is what you do. There's a period after you put in your LOI. There's a period called due diligence. And once you do due diligence, and let me equate this back to this putting in a contract for a house. So you've shopped around, you found a house that you're interested to buy. Now you put a contract in and that you want to buy this house. Now what happens? Now you get an inspector out, and the inspector starts looking through the house, looking in the closets, looking in the rafters. That's what your due diligence period is. And what Dan and I will walk you through of how you do that due diligence, what are the right kind of questions to ask, all of that kind of stuff. So we'll walk you through how to do that so that you can keep in mind, while you're under due diligence, you and the seller can walk away at any time. So unlike putting down earnest money for a house or putting deposit down, the whole period of due diligence is for you to really get an understanding of the business that you're looking to acquire. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what, and I know Bill mentioned this earlier. I mean, that's where we're at right now with ours. We're in due diligence of our deal. We're hoping to close here in the next 2 weeks. But if something were to pop up, like Bill said, and it's not the right fit, we can walk away and there's no harm, right? So that's the best part about having your due diligence being done during that LOI period. All right. See, the other part of Tammy's question here, Bill, is how to find owners interested in selling.
Tammy, there are so many different ways. As I said, as we talked about before, there are so many public platforms like Biz Buy Sell, Empire Leads, things like that. There's also networking groups. There's LinkedIn. There's Facebook. There's the communities that a lot of you are already part of. You're just not asking the right kind of questions. Sometimes people don't know that they want to sell their business until you ask one simple question. Have you ever thought about what your business is worth? That's a great opening question to really determine whether someone is someone's interested in potentially selling their business. So those are some things that we're going to dive into. As Deanna and I, as I was sharing earlier, we're about to acquire a business that is over $1 million business that we acquired off of a Craigslist ad. So no brokers involved, none of that, off of a Craigslist ad. You've got to know the right kind of questions to ask, and that's how you uncover those opportunities.
All right. This one is from Colby Mason. It says, just the basis. I'm sure you're going to go over this in further detail. How do I get the capital to get deals done if I don't have much of my own? And do I need lots of experience in the industry to do deals? Good question, Colby.
Colby, there are so many different ways. As Deanna and I are going to share, there are over 200 ways that you can acquire a business for little or no money out of pocket. There are so many different ways we're going to cover. What we shared with on this presentation was just a small sampling of the most popular ways, but there's things like asset-based financing. There's things, there's so many third-party lending. What's so great about bookkeeping and how we're going to show you how you can acquire for little or no money out of pocket. Some of the most valuable businesses out there that enable you to do third-party lending is reoccurring revenue. And bookkeeping is that it is all reoccurring revenue. Those are things that alternative third-party lenders really find advantageous. So as I said, that is just the tip of the iceberg of the different ways that you can acquire a business for little or no money.
Awesome. All right, Samantha Pankey. Here's a great question. Will this opportunity come with mentoring or assistance? I know we just mentioned it, but Bill, do you have anything you want to share about our mentoring that we'll be giving?
You know, the what's great about this is Dan and I have built this program not only based off of the practical experiences that we've been a part of and that we've done, but that we participated in another group. Deanna, talk a little bit about another entity that you're a partner in called Epic Network and sort of where we've really crafted and learned a lot of this, from your previous, from another entity that you're a part of.
So, as far as the mentoring part, or just from the
Yeah.
business in
Just
general?
as far as the capabilities that we've honed in putting to practice into mentoring.
Yeah, so I've been partners in another company with a gentleman named Roland Frazier, and we actually teach people on acquisitions as well. And so that's kind of what started this. Was we called it EPIC, ethically profit in crisis, because it happened during COVID and all the businesses got shut down. And at that time, just thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of businesses went for sale. And so we talked about ethically acquiring these businesses, in a crisis. And so there were so many mom and pop shops that were up for sale, and that you could go into these businesses and get them for $0 out of pocket for motivated sellers. Whether it was due to an illness, whether it was them wanting to retire, whether it was a marriage or divorce or whatever it could be. There's lots of reasons why people want to get out of a business. But a lot of people think that you have to have lots of money to be able to do that, and that's not the case. I mean, my husband, like Bill and I and our friends, we've all done these type of businesses without having to put our own finances into it. And so, and like we talked about earlier, consulting for equity, and there's all these different ways to do it. But a lot of times it's just thinking outside of the box. And so that's what we try to do in the mentorship program, is we try to share with you all the different ideas of what we're doing or what we're seeing being done, so that you can do creative financing and get deals done, where it's seller financing or asset-based lending, different things like that. And so there's lots and lots of ways. But what's really fun to me, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. I think I love it the most, because it's like putting the pieces together and figuring out how it's going to fit together and how does that work. And the coolest part about it, a lot of times, even if the owner doesn't want to sell out completely, there's ways to still come in and become a partner in that existing business and still get that business, and they still stay on. There's lots of different ways, and those are some of the things that we're going to talk about when we're working and mentoring with you.
Yeah, and that's where you've got the commitment from Deanna and I, and Deanna and I and the bookkeeping, Bookkeeper Academy team as a whole, is to be there for you and to be there for you as you're walking through their journey, as you're walking through the journey. One, as I said, we're going to do a coaching call a week, and what we're going to do is we're going to wait to get this group of the 15, 20 members that we've got a part of this group. And then we'll find a time that really works with everybody's schedules. And then we'll plan out that, but we're going to do a live coaching call per week. We've got the messaging platform that's there for you to get that real world help and that real world guidance. Plus, when you find those deals and those opportunities, that's where you're going to book a deal review call. And we're actually going to get on and help you review this deal and walk through, is this the right deal? We're going to help hold you accountable to what you said your acquisition criteria was at the beginning, and making sure that that's the smart deal for you, so that you're looking for the opportunities that really fit in that acquisition criteria. And that's what our focus is going to do, really working with you. Deanna, one question we had in the chat that actually goes along some of these lines is, what if I've got bad credit? So people are talking about personal credit. Well, we're talking about in this financing doesn't have to do with your personal credit.
No, not at all. I mean, that's why seller financing is so great, because you can get into a business and have the seller finance it over 5 or 10 years, and that does not require you to have credit at all, right? So I think that's the beauty of it, is you can be really creative in that when you're doing that. The other thing that I was going to share with you, we had a couple of other. I see some other comments here about needing business credit. You don't need to have business credit in order to get a deal. Again, this is going back to what we said. You can work with the seller, the motivated seller, to do seller financing, to do consulting for equity. one of our deals that we're working on, we're doing an asset-based loan, and we can talk more about that. But there's lots of ways that does not require your personal credit or for you to have a business credit. Okay, so don't worry about that. We're going to explain a lot of that as we go. And so we'll be able to share. The other thing that I was going to say, oh, I know what it was, is that Bill, you mentioned like we're going to do deal review calls with you. And this is the one thing that Bill and I've learned over the years is you also have to know when to walk away. Not every deal is a good deal, right? And so when we do a deal review call with you, sometimes the best thing will be we'll say that's not the right deal. Let's keep looking, right? You don't want to grab just the first deal. And sometimes having a second and third pair of eyes to help you identify that is the right thing, because we've seen some really dear friends of ours that have just gone and grabbed that first deal because they wanted to get that first deal and it wasn't the right deal for them. And so that's the beauty of us helping you, is that we're going to be those second and third pair of eyes for you and be able to kind of give you, different views of what that would look like. And if it's a really good deal, maybe there's a better way to restructure it or to negotiate it, or maybe you do walk away and find the next deal. The next deal might even be a bigger and better deal.
And one person asked, will we cover systems to put in place to grow and optimize the business once you acquire? Yes, we're going to touch on some of that and some of the best practices to be there. And if you are new to bookkeeping and you're not already a part of the Bookkeeping Academy and you're not already a bookkeeper, this is still for you. Engage for us, and we can talk to you about opportunities to partner and do the Bookkeeping Academy, which the Bookkeeping Academy actually walks you through being the owner of a bookkeeping business. And that's what the entire Bookkeeping Academy is talks to you about, is building and growing a bookkeeping business. So we can talk to you about how to go through both programs simultaneously to really optimize you to go out and do this. You do not need to be a bookkeeper to go out and start acquiring. That's why you've got the academy there. And we can talk about, if you're not a bookkeeper, how to really work both those programs simultaneously so you could take advantage. One of the big opportunities right now is the baby boomers. There's so many people, especially in the bookkeeping world, that are ready to retire. And they're ready to retire. They're not looking for, as I said earlier, a big payout that they're going to have to pay capital gains at. They're looking at a 401k. Now, a big part of acquiring a business for little or no money out of pocket is how you engage that seller, how you give them a level of confidence that you're going to take care of their clients, that they're going to get that secure revenue stream for their retirement. We're going to show you how you position yourself as a credible investor to go out and build that level of confidence, so they're confident at doing seller financing for a longer period of time, so you can acquire that business over 5 years instead of over making a big payment down in front.
All right, if you've booked a call, let's get some activity here. If you've booked a call already, I want you to put booked here in the chat. Good deal. Awesome. All right. Good deal. All right, not too late to keep booking your call, so please scan that QR code and let's get your call booked. Bill, do we have any other questions there?
Now, we had one person ask, what is EBITDA multiple for bookkeeping businesses? One thing we're going to talk about is EBITDA, or also is called SDE, sellers discretionary earnings. And we're going to talk about all this. It's not necessarily industry specific. There's a lot of things to look for when looking at it. So we're going to teach you how to do what's called valuate the business. What is the value of this business? Because every seller thinks that their business is worth more than it is. We're going to teach you how to do is how to determine the fair market value for a business. Just like, unless you're paying taxes on your house, everybody thinks their house is worth more than it is when they put it up for sale. They don't when they've got to pay taxes on it. It's the same scenario that we're going to walk you through, how to determine what a fair market value is for a business, and how to convince a seller what a fair market value, because so many people don't honestly know how much their business is worth.
Amazing.
Well,
that's so great.
These calls. That's so great. Like I said, we're limited. Enrollment is open through the end of the weekend, through Sunday. So enrollment is limited, or until we fill up. Like I said,
Yeah.
our goal is to maybe get this to 20 people in this group. So once we're booked up, or when we get to Sunday, is what we're focused on getting this enrolled in. So even if you don't know if this is right for you, I encourage you to book a call, hop on with us, and learn. And we've got so many different finance options, that we talked about before. So, and we'll go into more depth with you of some of those finance options that enable you to spread this investment all the way out to up to 5 years.
That's awesome. All right. So if you've heard today, if you've heard what we've talked about, and this sounded really exciting to you, maybe it's a little scary, maybe in a good way. I want you to put yes. Is this a little scary? Come on, I want to see some of these yeses in there. But you're excited, right? Okay. Well, here's what I want to reiterate what Bill just said. Here's what we want you to do. We want you to take the next steps, right? So if you're excited, you really truly think this could be something I can do, I want you to step one, I want you to book the call. That's what Bill said. Book the call. Number two, we want you to, I mean, here, you know what? I'm going to say, book your call. I'm going to stop right there, right there. I want you to take action. I want you to book the call. No obligation. This is your time to talk to us and our team and make sure that this is going to be the right fit for you. That's it, right? Now, after you book, you're immediately going to get access to those free resources that Bill mentioned earlier. Those are yours. You're going to get those immediate so you can get started. And then once you get that, then we're going to give you some quick wins and some of the things of what's the next steps, right? On how to join the mastermind, if this is the right fit for you. And if it is the right fit for you, we're going to invite you to join us. So there's no hard sell. This is truly the real opportunity to move forward with clarity and the support that we know that Bill and I can give you. Like our entire team, this is what we do. If you can't tell, we are so passionate about this. We love acquiring businesses, and we know that if you get started with us, we can teach you to do the same thing, and you are going to love it as well. So from there, if you take action and you stay consistent, there is a real possibility that you're going to acquire your first business in the first 60, 90 days. I mean, it's very, very possible, right? And we're going to be there to help you in these next 16 weeks get all that started. From the acquisition criteria all the way to getting that LOI to getting that deal across the finish line. That's not a promise. I mean, it is. That's not just a promise, it's a potential. It literally is our promise that if you take those steps, that can happen for you too. So, I mean,
Real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. We got two questions that are really important.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to get before we ended. Jen asked, "What about those of us who are from Canada? Will those of us from Canada, will this mastermind be able to help us too? Laws are very different between there and here. Talk about how we've helped people acquire businesses all over the world."
So I will tell you, this is such a great question. I actually was on the phone today with somebody from Canada, and so it's a father-son team, right? And so yes, this happens. What we teach, the strategies that we share with you, can be used all over the world. It's not specific to Canada or UK or Australia or the US. It is, the strategies can be applied anywhere because we're teaching you how to go out and talk to motivated sellers, how to negotiate those terms, how to get an LOI, and then how to get the deal closed. Now, the difference, it's a great question. The difference really is that you may have to have your attorney in that country look over, because we're going to give some templates and stuff that we use here in the US. So that may be the only thing that's going to change a little bit, is that you may want to have your attorney look that over and make sure that it still applies and everything's fine. But everything that we teach in general can be used no matter where you live in the world. Great question, though. Love that.
A couple people asked about, do we help you learn more about financing options for the program? Yes, we'll talk about that in the coaching or in the calls that you booked. Our team will walk you through all of the different options we have in place. Let's see here. If you acquire a team, how would you go about paying for them? Easy. The company that you're acquiring is already paying for them. So
Yes.
you're acquiring that, you're already acquiring that. And what's so great about that, when you acquire a team, now you can start going out and acquiring other bookkeeping businesses that don't have team because you already have a central team in place. So you're acquiring the structure to build and grow. That's what's so exciting about it.
Yeah,
Let me
and then
see
we're going to
here.
talk more about that, Bill, even as far as like roll ups. How many of you ever heard of that, where you take one business and then roll up more underneath it each more time? So there's just so much fun there to do that. Like, absolutely. But you never want to acquire a business. Remember what I said about walking away? You never want to acquire a business that is not financially stable, has a team in place. You're going to be acquiring that business because it does have that, right? That's the key to growing your business and building that up. So, yes, definitely.
Another question is, do you have to have an attorney? So let me answer this one for you. So what we're going to do, so when you have, yeah, we always, suggest that when you're acquiring something, you have an attorney review the acquisition. But what we're going to provide you is we're going to provide you with templates to use to help craft that proposal. So a lot of what attorneys charge you to do all of the due diligence, the paperwork, all of that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide you with templates to use to be able to take that to your attorney and have them just bless it, make sure there's no local ordinances, things in place. So you're going to have, 2/3, if not more, of the work done for the attorney for them to just bless it. And one of some of the great things is you can negotiate it, just the seller to pay for the attorney. So we're going to talk for you ways that you can have the seller pay for all or part of that small portion that the attorney has. So we're going to walk you through that. Ebony, so do we assist with it until you acquire your first deal? So our goal is that this is a 16-week coaching course to really focus. Our goal is for you to be under LOI or to be proceeding towards that within that 16-week. But keep in mind, as Deanna said, you're going to have lifetime access to all of the coaching material that we have, all of the templates, the scripts, we've got everything towards that 16-week course. You're going to have lifetime access to. So our goal is to get you at that LOI level or to get you right there within that 16 weeks and to provide you with the tools, knowledge, and support for you to be successful. We built this 16 weeks very specifically because 16 weeks is on average of where you need to be. That's our experience. We're actually at week 16, I think, right now for the one that we're working on. So that's why this course is built to be a 16-week program.
And
Awesome, Dee. Well, I think we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah, but just to answer his question, you're not doing this alone. So when you join the mastermind, we want you to know that regardless of the time, like we are going to be there to help you and guide you along the way. And you get to keep all the information for life. And that's the key beauty of it is that even after let's say the 16 weeks, you have a question, Bill and I are still here. We're not going to let you fail. I want you to know that is just not our personality at all. We are firm believers and we're very passionate about this. We love what we do and we're super excited to share this with you and for this to be possible for you too. So you're kind of stuck with us is what I like to say.
Something, what you're going to learn from this group is you're going to build a connection with this group because we are keeping it a small group. Who knows? There may be opportunities to partner with others in the group. When you take a look at every single one of Deanna and I's businesses, every one of our businesses, we have a partner in because you can build stronger with a partner. So who knows? There may be opportunities for you to partner with others that are in the group.
Yeah, we call that OPG, other people's genius. We partner with other people that have the genius level that we don't have. So that way it makes it so much more easier and more fun. And so we will talk about that as well. It's another little fun thing there.
Awesome. Well, Dee, why don't you close us out?
All right. So let's go back. So if you felt like this is something that you would like to do, again, make sure that you scan this code and you get your call booked. So that way you can get your resources. If this is the right fit for you, we are excited to invite you into this mastermind, into this first cohort that we're so excited to take on. So go ahead, click the link, book the call with our team. Let's see what's possible. I mean, the thing about Bill and I is we believe in this model. This is something that we live day in and day out. This is what our children do. Like we've taught this to our kids. This is everything that we believe in. And we believe in you and we believe that you can do this too. So if you believe in yourself as well, I want you to book that call. And we're excited to work with many of you over the next 16 weeks.
Awesome. Awesome. Again, once as always, it's a privilege. This is an honor for us. It's an honor for us to share what was really built our generational wealth, what we continue to build every single day, and to share that with other people. So we're looking forward to having you participate, and we're looking forward to having you involved. We are so blessed to be part of this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening. Take care.
Bye, everyone.